Good afternoon, everyone. It's noon on a Wednesday. That means it's time for another KukerRanken Lunch and Learn. We're glad to have everybody here. And we've got a few more people to let in here. And we'll be ready to roll. We're going to be broadcasting this live out to Facebook as well. So for those of you that are watching us on Facebook, welcome to KukerRanken Lunch and Learn. For those who are unaware, every Wednesday at noon, KukerRanken provides a free lunch and learn. We're happy to have you with us for about 20 to 25 minutes on Wednesdays. And today we're going to be talking about the animal with Brady Reisch. We're very, very excited about the animal and what the animal brings to the inspection, the construction, and the survey world, as well as other industries. But of course, at KR here, we're focused on those particular verticals. All right, without any further comment, Brady, I'm going to turn it right over to you. Take it away.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Douglas. Really appreciate it. And welcome everybody to today's lunch and learn about the animal from ANYbotics. We're extremely excited to show you what it can do and all the different capabilities that we have. Well, let's just verify. Do we have our PowerPoint pulled up? One second, everyone. We're doing this a little bit differently this week, so we're just trying to make sure we've got all of our technical everything just kind of set up here for us. Wonderful. All right. So why am I here? Why am I the person up in front of you? So my name is Brady Reisch. I am the virtual design and construction reality capture specialist for Kuker-Ranken. I am a Part 107 pilot. I've been a trainer with several different companies throughout the years, and I'm really heading up this program with Joe and Bob as well. So that's why I'm here talking to you today. On your screen, you should see a little QR code. If you want to take down my information, you can take the camera and scan that QR code, and it will give you all of my contact information that you want to reach out for any reason. So, that being said, let's go ahead and see if we can move on. I'd like to go ahead and talk about, there's two different pieces here that we're going to be discussing. So number one is the animal itself. This is a quadrupedal robot that is able to walk around manually or autonomously. And then we'll also talk about the payload that we have, which is the BLK ARC system. So first and foremost, with the animal. So for the animal, I'm just going to shut my phone off for just a quick moment. We'll turn right back to the animal here in just a moment. But for the animal, first and foremost, we have an 1.5 hour runtime. So the great thing about the animal being an 1.5 hour runtime is that it's very efficient, and we can run this for very long durations of time. This is not a short 20-minute walk around. You have an 1.5 hour of that time. So very, very beneficial. So next, this is also IP67 rated, which is water resistant plus. This means that the system can be fully submerged into water as it stands with the animal system. And this just it's not necessarily that you're going to get great data underwater. It's not meant for scanning underwater. However, in hazardous situations, you are able to decontaminate that animal system if it was going into somewhere where there's gases or noxious fumes or anything else. You can clean the animal with a hose with a decontamination process, and it'll be just fine. So what's great about the animal is that it also climbs stairs. So a lot of our sites that we're going to be going to are not single stories, they're multiple stories. And how do we move up and down? With the stairs. The animal is able to handle 45-degree stairs going up and down. So it's very, very easy to maneuver. Then we have omnidirectional obstacle avoidance. So there is sensors in the front, in the rear, on the left, and on the right. So when you get within about 12 inches, the system will stop, and you are able to make sure you're not running into any obstacles. And then this is also an industrial design to withstand different hazardous environments. This is not something that is meant to walk around and dance, but this is something that is meant for industrial inspections. So that being the animal, the next, sounds like we've got someone who is not muted. We can check that in chat, please. Next, I'd like to talk about the Leica BLK ARC. So this system, which is affixed to the animal itself, is fully integrated with the animal system. This is not a lick and stick option. So everything is fully integrated. We can start and stop the service using the internal system. So this has a 270-degree horizontal and 360-degree vertical field of view. The scanning radius is from half a meter to about 25 meters in range. So this just allows you to scan things that are within that space. The further out it is, the less accurate it becomes. The closer you are, the more accuracy you get out of that sensor. This will also scan at about 420,000 points per second. So many, many points to allow you to scan and get that information quickly, efficiently, and be accurate. This is IP54 rated. So this is really for splashes of water. It will be fine, but this is not something to go underwater. So although the animal itself is able to be fully submerged, the ARC is not. And the operating temperature is going to be from 0 to 35 Celsius operating. So with that being said, why don't we go ahead and jump into the animal itself. Good. All right. So everybody, welcome the animal to the robotics team here at KukerRanken. So this system is larger than most people expect when you see it in a photo or video. It's a little bit bigger than you would expect it to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take control of the animal. There's several different ways this can be done. Number one, with a tablet or a phone. Number two, with a computer. Or three, with this industrial controller, which is used for crane operations. So we're going to go ahead and take control. We're going to set him to stand up. So you'll notice on the back, we've got this red light. This is indicating that the robot is about to do something. So what we want to do is make sure we keep about a 2-meter radius around the robot to make sure that everyone's going to stay safe from the robot itself. There are 3 actuators per leg, and each of those actuators are about 2,000 2,000 pounds per square inch of pressure and of force. So if you were to get your hands caught in here, it would take your fingers off and not care. So you want to be extremely careful, especially moving around any industrialized products. So also take just another moment for it to stand up. What I would like to go ahead and point out is on the front here, this payload system. This is the front of the animal. On the back, we have a LiDAR system. It's a low resolution LiDAR system that allows it to scan its current environment, standing. And this is so that it understands what else is around it. All right, and he backs up from the docking station, which we have set down over on this side. There are a couple different QR codes as the dog is walking around to understand what is below it and what's around it. So it's able to sit right on top of that and make sure it charges. So the reason is, if this was to be deployed autonomously, then you can leave it around and run it at 3 a.m., at 7 p.m., whenever you'd like to, all by itself with no operator. And what it's going to do is it's going to inspect different things that you tell it to. And then from there, it will give you notifications if it's outside of its tolerance. So as an example, we've got a lot of pipes back behind us for our sprinkler system. There's a pressure gauge. This system, it will actually look at an analog gauge and understand what that pressure is and tell you whether that pressure is within its tolerance that you tell it, or if it's outside of its tolerance. So this dog will walk around at any point in time and do any of those types of inspections. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate him around here. I want to show you just a couple things. So we did talk about the omnidirectional obstacle avoidance. So right now, by default, this system is always turned on to have obstacle avoidance. So if I was to move him back right into me, and I'm not going to let go of the stick, he stops. He sees that there's something there. So I've got that on the rear, on the sides, and on the front. So let's do it again from the side. So if you can see, I'm pushing the stick here, and he stops. So I haven't let go of the stick. I'm still telling him to move, but he doesn't move from there because there's something in the way. And this can be turned off. One other thing that I would like to discuss is if we turn off the optical avoidance, so I get him a little bit closer to me. I've got standard shoes on right now. They are not steel toe boots. Okay, so my toes are free here, and you'd expect something like this would be extremely heavy. So if I walk him up here, I'm going to walk him right on my foot. If I can get him to step on it, he likes to avoid things, so it takes just a moment to get him right on there. There we go. So this guy is only exerting about 30 pounds of force on this foot. And when we step off, since he brings up the other 2 legs or the alternate legs, then it gives you about 50 pounds. So with this, it's not terrible. So the whole system altogether here is about 113 pounds. So not terribly heavy. It is suggested to have two operators to take them in and out of the vehicle or however you're transporting the animal. However, it is a single person operation if you have it. So with that, let's go ahead and walk them up. I'm going to show you a couple things about the ANYmal here. So on the very front, we were talking about the payload system. This payload has a couple different sensors. We've got an optical zoom camera up to 20 times. We've got a extremely bright light that we can turn on for those dark environments. We've got thermal, and we also have sound detection on this specific payload. So you can customize that to listen for different frequencies or different types of alarms, and then warn the operator if it hears such an alarm. So this system here can be removed, and there is an articulation arm that you can put on here, so you can go and manipulate things, grab door handles, you can set things down, pick things up, or collect those types of materials in those hazardous situations. So if we turn to the side here, we'll see there's also this system here, which is our scanning system. So this is the BLK ARC system. There are two cables. There's a USB-C cable and a charging cable on this side. And now we're initializing this unit. So this allows us to scan at a much higher resolution and get more information than the sensor on the back. The back is only for the dog understanding what is around it. This sensor is for usable data that we have. And I'm happy to share any of the ARC data that we have. This sensor is the same that you would see on the BLK to go or the BLK to fly system. The only difference being what's mounted, being utilized. So that system is now up and running and up and available. Let's go and just walk them around for just a moment. Now, the beauty about this type of a system is that if he sees something, he's going to stop when we're in manual. If you set him up to be fully autonomous, then what's going to happen is there are a couple different options. He can either stop and wait for that object to move, or he can seek an alternate route around that object. So that is only in autonomous mode. One of the other great things with the system is that some of the other systems on the market today show that it can climb over objects, and that's great. Let's go ahead and show you that right now. I'm going to get him right into position, and we are doing this fully manual. So he's ready, and I'm not changing any modes. He's still in the same mode. We're going to slowly walk him forward. He'll get on the side, and we can just sidestep and get him on top. And we can pull him back down. There we go. Now, some of the other systems on the market today only allow you to do forwards and backwards. The beauty of the ANYmal is that it doesn't matter which direction you're going, he's going to start climbing on top of things. So let's move him just straight to the side here. I'm just making sure this doesn't slide too much. There he goes, right over the top of it. Easy. There's no mode change. There are several modes you can utilize right now, but the mode that it's in right now allows it to up things, understand different obstacles that are around it, and try to manipulate or move around some of those things. So extremely versatile and moves over things, around things in those types of hazardous environments. There are also inside of each leg, there is a pressure sensor. So it understands what it's touching or if it is touching anything at all. So when it steps up on top of the platform, it understands, hey, my elevation changed, but I'm touching something, so my leg needs to be up on the side. So if we sidestep them again onto our makeshift platform here, you'll see a couple of legs are up, but not all the legs. Let's get them right there. So he tries to level out as much as he can to understand what is true level. So he's slightly tilted because he's up on top of our makeshift platform, but he tries to get as straight as possible. So that if you did have a separate payload that needed to be leveled out, say an RTC 360 to scan, it would try to be as stable as possible in that scenario. So we were able to take this system through the snow, and what happens is it goes through the snow and for anything to show right now, but we can put that up later. But what will happen is with the system will then try to go through the snow and touch the ground, and you'll see it unsure of itself. It's kind of like a dog who's not quite sure of himself, right? He wants to move and try to get a sure footing. He's going to fall over. So same thing with the animal. So there are a few last couple things I'll talk about before we get into any questions. There are some safety features that you need to be aware of. There's several different stop options. So on the stock photo that we have, there is a what's called a protective stop. This system slowly shuts down the animal itself over the course of about a quarter to a half a second. So it seems really fast and it seems really violent, but he slowly turns off, and the dog himself will lay down and just flop on the ground. There's also an emergency stop on the dog himself. This red button, if you were to push that down, it completely disconnects the brain from the heart from the animal itself. So he just rots. And on the side of the controller here, there's also another red button. If we push this in, same thing. That is an emergency stop. So in the case of any emergency, you will be safe. So with that, let's go ahead and put the animal back onto his docking station. Let's move to the side here. Move them close enough so that those cameras can see the QR codes. And we are just initiating to sit down. And now he's just going to reposition himself so he sits. So we're not touching anything at this point, fully autonomous. And his legs will turn off. Good boy, right? the goodest boy you'd ever have. So with that, that is the animal that we have for you today. What I would like to do is go ahead and open it up for any additional questions. So I'm going to go ahead and take the camera from my operator. Thank you very much. There we go. Perfect. So let's just check in chat, and it's going to take me a moment to pull those up if we've got any additional questions. I'm not showing any in chat right now. Do we have anything on the Facebook questions?
I don't see anything rolling up in Facebook questions here, Brady.
Nothing currently yet. All right. Perfect. Well, if anyone's got a question, make sure that you let us know, because we'd love to answer any questions you may have.
But Brady, you've been out in the field doing a number of different things with the animal. What's your favorite thing about the animal?
Oh, my favorite thing about the animal can go anywhere you want him to go. It doesn't matter if it's a slick environment. As an example, we were recently out on a demonstration, and there was an abandoned building that had been deteriorating over the course of 20 or 30 years. So the second floor was coming down. It had just recently rained. There's a lot of mud and gunk on the floor. And this was a hazardous environment where we could not send any human being into. So they were trying to go through and scan it from the outside, and decided, hey, let's take a look at the demo. Let's try to get a dog inside and see what's going on. So we were able to send the animal inside into this hazardous environment, into the slippery muck and goo, and it's slipping and sliding and moving around. But we are able to maneuver the dog himself, and we got a fantastic model out of it for some actionable data. Now, there is one additional question here that we have. I'm not sure why my camera's not changing. Hopefully it's not wood for everybody. But there's another question. Is there any possibility to mount a GPS rover and data collector to the animal? And the answer is absolutely. There are many, many use cases that we are still working to explore, but there are ways to do continuous topos, as an example, with a GNSS receiver from various manufacturers. And we're happy to discuss some of those different options and alternative and use cases with you. And
We're happy to help you out a Leica system for that animal. Well, Brady, I've got your snow video queued up here. If you'd like to share that with people before we leave.
Absolutely. If there's no additional questions, I'd say let's go ahead and roll right into it and see what we got.
Before I share that out, or set that up. We want to thank everybody for being here with us and spending your Wednesday afternoon with us. We know your time is valuable, and we appreciate that you take your time to join us for these weekly Lunch and Learns. We certainly have a lot of fun doing them, and we love hearing feedback from you folks about what you've enjoyed about them and what future Lunch and Learns that you'd like to see. Keep in mind that KukerRanken is your total solutions provider, and so you're seeing the animal, and you've seen it with the BLK ARC on it. Keep in mind that there's training that goes along with that, and software for processing that data that comes off the BLK ARC, and we are capable of training and getting you through all of those different things. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and open up my my video here, and we'll just share a video from the animal. This was captured just yesterday, or day before yesterday, excuse me, and shows you the animal in some interesting weather here. We want to thank Brady for capturing this for us. So folks, thank you for being with us today.
And if anybody would like to, this will also be posted online. So you are able to watch it. We do have some audio with it. It sounds like it's just not turned on right now.
Right.
Or it's the Zoom interface sometimes has some challenges. So it looks like it's really blocky, but it's a really smooth video.
Yeah. I'll put the YouTube link in the chat there.
So it looks like he's not quite going to go into the snow, and lo and behold, there he goes. He's a happy dog, jumps through the snow.
I think a human would have a hard time getting around in that.
That's right.
I think this is my favorite thing, Brady, is watching how he changes his gait going through the snow right here.
Well, it's using those pressure sensors right in the feet, just trying to understand what he's touching. For sightedness shows the snow, but his feet say it's something deeper. And this has happened through mud, through dirt, through water. It's just incredible.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, that takes us out of our Lunch and Learn today. Thank you again for being present. We hope to see you next week, where we have our next setup with the introduction to mapping, again with Brady. Boy, you're a busy guy on the Lunch and Learn, Brady. And then on January 4th, we've got Matt Kowalski doing 3DR classification tools. So, folks, thank you very much for being with us, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. Kuker-Ranken, folks, where you can, please stay online. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful week.